Hello guys, this is Gaby Montanez. I am an astrologer mainly focused on traditional and medieval astrology. And today I want to speak a little bit about the new moon in Aquarius happening the 29th of January. So first of all, I want to explain this chart I am showing here. It was done by Greenwich, which is pretty much the standard astrologers do when doing this type of readings. And it shows the new moon is happening at 9 degrees of Aquarius. I also want to explain a little bit what a new moon means. When a new moon is happening, we cannot see the moon in the sky. So in astrology, we do analogies between what is happening in the sky and the meaning of whatever is happening in the symbolic world. So the moon means the unconscious. And as we cannot see the moon in the sky, it means symbolically that we don't have access to our inner world, our unconsciousness. Okay, so it means that we don't have any influence of our dreams, memories, and that our inner world will not affect our rational mind. So it's a very good moment to take advantage of, just to make very clear decisions with a very sharp mind. It is very good to start new cycles. The new cycles we are going to start will depend on the part of the natal chart of each person this new moon is falling. I mean, as the new moon is happening at 9 degrees of Aquarius, then it will be different for each person. And mainly, everybody will have to check in their charts where this 9 degrees point is falling, and then see if it is close to any planet or any cuspid of a house, and then how it will impact every person individually. Okay, so the other thing which is very important, and I want to bring it into your attention, is that yes, new moons are very good to start new things, but we need to wait till the moon has separated from the sun at least 17 degrees. Okay, and that generally happens in 1 day and a half, 2 days after the new moon is happening. Okay, so let's go a little bit into the reading of the chart itself. In here we can see how the moon is or the new moon is conjunct or it is in conjunction with Mercury at 2 degrees of Aquarius and Pluto at 1 degrees of Aquarius. One thing that called my attention about this new moon was that this is the very first new moon happening in Aquarius after the sun has done the conjunction with Pluto in Aquarius. What I am trying to say is that yes, everybody knows that Aquarius kind of it went into Aquarius, then came back to Capricorn and did that several times, and then finally came into Aquarius. But this recent conjunction the Sun did with Pluto entering when the Sun entered Aquarius has been the very first time they have been in a conjunction in Aquarius. Okay, so this is very important, very significant, and the fact that the moon is now joining and doing this new moon, it's like kind of adding a lot of interesting, spicy, let's say, to the situation, because as I just said, new moons are very good to start cycles, and I as Aquarius, it's one of the meanings of Aquarius is the technology, whatever is the innovation, the futuristic things. Then it kinds of it is making sense with a lot of the things that we are experiencing around us at the moment. Okay, so let's speak a little bit about what Mercury means, because Mercury is in conjunction with the new moon. So Mercury is generally the communication, the rational mind, the way we speak, the way we move, um, and it is playing again here in this new moon. Also Pluto, which generally is the one of the meanings of Pluto, is very very powerful people. Okay, so in here we can see new cycles starting, involving communication. Also Mercury means young people, involving young people, and Pluto will bring then powerful people into the mix. Okay, so it's now let's check who these people are talking to. So we can see in here the sun and the moon are doing a trine with Jupiter in Gemini. Okay, so this is um, interesting because then Jupiter in Gemini, well, it is retrograde, which is kind of what a retrograde planet means is that all the energy goes inwards, and then instead of exteriorizing whatever the energy of the planet means, then it goes inwards. Okay. Jupiter in Gemini is in detriment because Jupiter rules Sagittarius, and then Gemini is the opposite sign of Sagittarius, so it means it is in detriment, which is a planetary debility according to traditional astrology. But as Jupiter is a planet of expansion, giving generally a lot of things, when it is in detriment and retrograde, it kind of imagine that it is putting like some limits and constraints to that huge energy and a lot of energy Jupiter generally brings. So I would say it is not that bad. It is in a trine, an aspect. This aspect called trine, it means opportunities, and one of the meanings might be, well, there will be opportunities to do start new cycles involving people. Gemini is an energy very related to young people, to elementary learning, like primary school, short courses, these type of things. And then that might be starting new things involving technology, elementary school, young people. Um, I wanted to share something that happened to me last week. I Since all the AI thing started, I have been a little bit, skeptic and with a lot of being very careful. And then last week, exactly a day before the conjunction of the Sun with Pluto happened, I kind of realized what it really means to the humanity. Just having all that amazing technology at hand, I was able to see how it is gonna be like a lot of help to, especially to do tasks in which people spend a lot of time, and then we will be able to kind of focus our attention and our efforts to things that really required more of our attention, instead of spending a lot of time on doing tasks that are repetitive and kind of like boring for the humans. So let's see what it brings. I think it will be very interesting to watch. Another thing I wanted to bring into your attention is that whatever is initiating this new moon will have its climax in the full moon in Aquarius happening the 29th of July 2026, which is approximately 18 months from now. Okay? So, and here we also see, let me just check the well, it is very important to also speak about Aquarius in traditional astrology is ruled by Saturn, okay? And in modern astrology, it is ruled by Uranus. Let's speak first about the traditional ruler, which is Saturn. Saturn in this chart is sitting in Pisces. Saturn in Pisces is in a position that it is called peregrine, and what it means is that the planet it's kind of weak, okay, and it depends on whatever is happening to the ruler of the sign in which it is sitting. In this case, it will be as it is Pisces. If I consider traditional astrology, then the ruler will be Jupiter. If I think about modern astrology, then the ruler will be Neptune. So if I see Saturn from the traditional point of view, having Jupiter as its ruler, then Saturn is not very strong because Jupiter is, as I just said, in detriment and retrograde. But if I consider Neptune as the modern ruler of Pisces, then Saturn is not that bad because Neptune is very, very strong in this chart. Being in the sign, it's the ruler, okay? So, considering Jupiter as the traditional ruler, I would say that whatever is starting, whatever this new moon is bringing, and the cycle series is starting, maybe there are gonna be things that are not going to be that they are not very clear, things that are not like maybe we think they are a little bit confusing because that's one of the meanings of Pisces. Then Saturn in mundane astrology, sorry, it means the judges who apply the laws. So it might mean, well, whichever laws are going to be applied regarding this new technology that everybody is seeing happening are not very clear, are confusing. That might be one of the interpretations. If I consider Neptune as the ruler of Saturn, then we might say, well, the laws might be clear or well, Neptune in here it's a bit of like tricky because one of the meanings of Neptune it's always like things are not clear, are confusing, and then but I say clear because Neptune is in Pisces and it is very strong. Maybe one of the interpretations could be using this new technology like for artistic purposes just to help arts or this type of stuff, okay. It's interesting that the traditional ruler of Aquarius, where the new moon is happening, is moving. Sorry, it is in conjunction with Venus in Pisces, which is a very strong position for Venus. So, in astrology, Saturn is a kind of like very strong energy, and then, well, Venus is one of the benefics in traditional astrology, and it always brings kind of like good to whatever it is involved in, especially if it is in a position in which it is strong, like this one, Venus in Pisces. I would say being Saturn the way it is, its essential meaning in astrology, which is limitations, constraints, like things are not easy at all with Saturn. The fact that Venus is in conjunction with it in this chart, it makes it a little bit soft, let's say. Also, whatever it's um, sorry, whatever is related to Venus in Pisces might help to kind of release that strong energy from Saturn. For example, like arts, beauty, whatever, because that's one of the meanings of Venus in Pisces. Connection with arts, anything artistic, okay? That would be like one of the meanings. The other interesting thing is that if I consider the modern ruler of Aquarius in this chart, it is sitting at 23 degrees of Taurus. Okay, this Uranus is about to end its retrogradation, and after a planet retrograde, or when a planet ends its retrogradation, oh lord, sorry, please excuse my English. um, it stays stationary for a period of time, and then it starts moving. So as this when this new moon happens, this Uranus, it's about to end the retrogradation, and then starts the direct movement. It is gonna stay stationary for a period of time, and it makes me think that maybe whatever, if I consider Uranus as the modern ruler of Aquarius, it might mean that whatever new cycle is starting, then things are gonna get like a little bit stuck, okay? Because that stationary movement of the planet brings or means that things are stuck, especially in elective astrology, for example. If you if an important planet in the election is stationary, then it might bring a lot of problems into whatever the situation we are studying. Okay, so well, they are. Let me see. Well, the exact point of the where the new moon is happening is not having any aspect, as we can see here with Uranus, but we still have to consider the cosmic state of the planet. Okay. Um, Let me see what else in here. It's interesting. Well, if we still have this opposition, uh, here it's better to see. In here we can see Mercury opposed Mars. Mars is in Cancer and retrograde. Um, it is a little bit far away, but it is still an opposition. It will, as soon as Mars stops the retrogradation, then it will start moving direct, and then it will kind of do all the oppositions again with the planet sitting here with Pluto when it comes here direct again. But for this specific chart, it is still affecting a little bit Mercury. It's a bit like long opposition, but what is the meaning of Mars retrograde? In astrology, Mars means the warrior, the like wanting to be always the first one doing things, like being the leader. And then when it is retrograde, it kinds of like that energy is not expressed well. And in a sign as Cancer, then it doesn't have. Another important thing that I forgot to mention is that this position for Mars, it is called fall, and it is a planetary debility, okay, in traditional astrology. So, because in Capricorn, Mars is exalted, I think it's the word in English. But, well, just to like summarize, it means that the energy of the planet is not like being exteriorized properly. So it brings a lot of repressed anger. That's one of the meanings of Mars retrograde. But it is moving away from the point of the new moon. Okay, so I would say it's only affecting Mercury and Pluto. Okay, but it's a lone opposition, so I wouldn't be that worried about that. Here we can see there is a trine. Venus is moving to the conjunction with Neptune, so that might bring a lot of because Neptune, as I just said, is the things that we don't see clear. In Pisces, it's a lot of dreams and fantasizing. So Venus moving there, it's kind of like adding more like into the excitement and all the fantasizing and these type of things. But as it is in trine with Mars, it might help as a way to kind of exteriorize that repressed anger a lot of people might have. Okay. Another interesting thing in here, I think um, that's pretty much like it. I don't want to be like very extensive with the explanation. Well, something interesting here is that Venus and also Neptune, they are here. Neptune and Venus, they are in a sextile with Uranus in Taurus. Okay, a sextile. One of the interpretations is planning, organizing, arranging things, movements, and the fact as Uranus is in that state I just mentioned, just moving, ending the retrogradation, and then moving into stationary. Um, it will have like the help of Venus and Neptune to kind of ease the situation. Another thing I wanted to share, let me find the second slide I want to share with you guys. Okay, here I am with the second slide I want to share with you guys. This is astromapping, and what we do with this technique in astrology is mainly get the like this. Okay, it's mainly get the, as I am talking about the new moon in Aquarius, this is a kind of representation of the natal chart I explained before in a map. Okay, in here I only left the lines for the moon. As the moon and the sun are in a conjunction, then wherever the moon is, then the sun it is also. But when lunations happen in astrology, whatever the place in the world where that lunation is sitting in the mid-heaven or in the rising, then whatever energy that lunation is bringing is going to be expressed more, like with more strength in that part of the world. Okay, so in here we can see how the new moon in the rising is pretty much happening, and we can see here it is going This is Mexico, still Mexico, if I am seeing properly. It has like a range of, like it is not straight away in the point where the line is passing. Of course, where the line is passing, the effect is gonna be like stronger, but it has like a range, okay, in kilometers in which it affects. And in here we can see it is pretty much passing all this area in the United States and then very close to Washington, which is interesting. Like after all the things we have seen happening lately in the United States. And then in the midheaven it will come through this, and then we have Spain here, having Madrid very close, some places in Africa, and then in here, UK around here we can see, okay, London is around here. So well, let's see what this brings, with what this new moon brings for this part of the world. Unfortunately for us in Australia, nothing very exciting happening here, but we'll keep an eye on the rest of the world. And yeah, well, this is pretty much all that I wanted to share with you guys. Thank you for listening. Thank you for watching. I hope you enjoyed it, and just leave me any comments about what you think about this new moon energy. I will be also doing other videos just to explain how to check your charts, and then seeing how this new moon is affecting every one of us more like in personal point of view. And I will be sharing those videos with you very soon. Thank you. Bye.